the end of the lesson, the students are expected to first, have a thorough understanding of what the International Court of Justice is and their purpose as an organ of the United Nations. Second, know what the accomplishments the ICJ has and the challenges they face. Lastly, understand the function of BRICS and discover their achievements and how they as an intergovernmental organization deal with the challenges they face.
Hello everyone, my name is Axel A. Santulihao and today I will be talking about the International Court of Justice or the ICJ. The ICJ or the International Court of Justice is part of the five major organs of the United Nations or UN. It is the highest court in the world dealing with international laws, settling legal disputes, and giving out legal advices. In contrast to the ICC or the International Criminal Court, whereas they prosecute those individuals who committed war crimes, genocide, and any extreme violence against humanity. Now, the ICJ has three major functions. First is settling legal disputes. Second is issuing advisory. And third is applying international laws. Now, the first function of the ICJ is settling legal dispute. If two or more countries or nation states are having disputes, whether in land or sea ownership, they could always go to the ICJ for a peaceful resolution. But both of the countries must agree to the court's authority before it can step in. Next is issuing advisory opinions. The ICJ gives legal opinion when the UN or its agency asks for help with legal questions. These opinions aren't binding, but they're important guides. And lastly, applying international law. ICJ uses different sources of international law, like treaties between countries, international customs, legal principle, and court decisions.
Good day everyone. Today I will discuss the key elements of ICJ structures and the latest President and Vice President of ICJ Court. So first let me discuss the key elements of the ICJ structure. First is we have here judges. Judges of ICJ are composed of 15 judges and they are elected by both United Nations General Assembly and Security Council. Each of them are elected in 9-year term. One-third of the court are elected every 3 years to ensure continuity, and they are not representing their home countries. Next is registrar. Registrar is the administrative organ of the ICJ. They do things like answering phone calls or helping the judge or helping the court's operation. Next is the official language. ICJ are using only 2 languages, which are English and French. Next is independence. Judges are independent and they can be removed in their position if majority of the court are agreed that there's something wrong with that judges. Next is representation. 15 judges came from different countries of the world, and they are not representing their home countries, and also to represent a diverse legal system. And next is the location. ICJ are located at the Peace Palace in the Hague, Netherlands. So next is we have here the latest president of the court, President Judge Iwasawa Yuji. He is a Japanese professor of the international law at the University of Tokyo. He has been member of the court since June 22, 2018 and re-elected in 2021. He succeeded Nawab Saddam as a president in March 3, 2025. Next, we have here the Vice President of the Court, Vice President Judge Julia Segundante. She's been member of the court since 2012 and re-elected in 2021. She's the first African woman who served in the court. She became a Vice President in February 2024 and served as an acting president in January 2025 following Nawab Saddam's resignation. She is a strong advocate of gender equality in the legal field.
So, how does one become a member of the ICJ? The ICJ is a global legal body and it is composed of 15 judges. These judges are all expected to serve a 9-year term. And to be a member, one must be elected by both the UN General Assembly and Security Council. One must be nominated by courts that are affiliated with the PCA. To be elected successfully, an absolute vote majority must be given by the UN General Assembly and Security Council. And here's an important thing. No 2 judges must be of the same country. How many members are part of the ICJ? Currently, the ICJ has 193 countries and these countries are UN member states and is included by default. But then, how can non-UN member states join the ICJ? Well, it is simple. They must be recommended by the UN Security Council and approved by the UN General Assembly. These countries must accept the consent, must give the consent that for the ICJ to exert its jurisdiction, exert its power over the state.
How do they choose the president of the ICG? The president of the ICG is elected by the 15 judges of the court through a secret ballot. Judges of the ICG are elected by the UN General Assembly and Security Council, voting simultaneously but separately. To be elected, a candidate must receive an absolute majority of both bodies. The president and vice president serve a three-year term. The election ensures geographical diversity and representation of different legal systems.
Lisaya reporting about the International Court of Justice, also known as the World Court, faces numerous challenges in its role as the principal judicial organ of the United States. Lack of enforcement power. The ICG's lack of enforcement power is a major issue. While the UN Charter authorized the Security Council to enforce the court decision, compliance often hinges on the political will of powerful member states. This can lead to situations where states choose to ignore or disregard ICJ rulings that conflict with their national interest or difficulty addressing political tension. The ICJ's non-political mandates limit its ability to address the underlying political tension that often drive international disputes. While the court can issue judgment based on international law, it cannot compel states in conflict or negotiate peace agreements. This can result in partial resolution where legal aspects of an issue are addressed but political discord remain unresolved. The ICG's lack the authority to enforce its decision immediately and depends on states to comply freely or face diplomatic pressure from the UN Security Council, which can be unpredictable. The ICG's jurisdiction is predicated on state consent, which may be revoked. Some states may refuse to accede to the court jurisdiction, limited its capacity to hear disputes involving those nations.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rizameda Kahuya. So now I will be discussing the BRICS organization. What is BRICS organization? So BRICS organization is originally formed by Brazil, Russia, India. The group was established to enhance economic, political, and social cooperation among its members, aiming to increase the influence of emerging economies in global governance. What is the recent accomplishment of BRICS organization? The recent development of BRICS organization is the establishment of NDB, or the New Development Banks, and Contingency Reserve Arrangement. BRICS faces several challenges: internal disagreement, geopolitical tension, economic disparities, different political system, and also the Ukraine war.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to discuss about BRICS organization. So what is BRICS organization? So BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. It's an economic and geopolitical that brings together these 5 major nations. So, BRICS organization promote economic development, trade, energy, investment, and technology. So, BRICS was formed in 2006 without South Africa, then South Africa joined in 2011. Then, how does it function as an organization? So BRICS works together through meetings and groups, taking turn leading the organization. It doesn't have a fixed office, but one of its main projects is a bank that funds development and infrastructure in member countries and other developing nations. What does the BRICS organization do? BRICS provides a forum for discussion and cooperation on a range of topics including sustainable development, political coordination, economic expansion, security, and reform of international financial organizations.
International Court of Justice or ICJ, the top court for international law, continues to resolve disputes between nations and provide legal guidance. The BRICS group comprised of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa is growing in influence, advocating for cooperation and development among its members, while the ICJ faces challenges in enforcement and jurisdictions. BRICS navigates internal disagreements and geopolitical tensions. Both organizations highlight the dynamic landscape of international law and cooperation in the 21st century.